things are not going so well out in Boulder, Colorado. Yesterday at about 2:30 in the afternoon, Colorado time, a young man walked into the parking lot of the King's Super shopping area and began to open fire. And he had an AR-15 rifle with him, and 10 people are now dead. A young boy is as young as 20, another 20 years old, another is 21, another 23, the oldest person is age 65, dead in a supermarket because this young 21-year-old, less than a week after the slaughter at the massacre, the massage parlors in Atlanta, Georgia, decides to do some killing in Colorado. And he tops, there were 8 killed in Georgia and 10 in Colorado. You know, I've looked at over the years, especially on the Obama administration, and prior to that Hamite, that is to say black people, dark skinned with the kinky hair people, sons of Ham, their young men usually kill, and they do a lot of killing. They've killed thousands. They've killed more in Chicago than were in Afghanistan and the Iraq War combined during the Obama years. But they usually kill one at a time. The Hamite boys, young men. And they are killers. No, they will. They will kill you. Them boys, their pants drop down below their butt, showing the color of their underwear. They will kill you, no doubt about it. But I notice the Japheth boys like to kill people by the gross. You know, so the black boys, if you will, kill one at a time, but the white boys kill you by the gross. You know, Columbine, Aurora, Sandy Hook, the Virginia Tech and the El Paso Walmart and now this. They love when they kill. They love to get they can kill you a whole lot at one time. Now, I don't mean to make light of this. Let me just express this, that for the ATLAH World Missionary Church and its members globally, I wish to express my sense of condolences and sympathy to the families that are grieving right now uncontrollably. It doesn't make any sense that their sons, a 20-year-old didn't come home, just at the supermarket working, maybe as a cash register or something. It doesn't make any sense that a 65-year-old and a 59-year-old in shopping for eggs and butter can't come home, and it just doesn't make any sense. These people, but this young boy, 21-year-old Japheth boy, killed him. The Boulder, Colorado shooting also took the life of a police officer, a young police officer, 51 years of age, named Eric Talley, was also killed. He was on the force for Boulder for the past 10 years. He lost his life. He's the father of 5 children. I would want to address Ron Johnson, Senator of Wisconsin. When we look at the gun violence, the racial violence, the political violence, and the religious violence in America, that has just gone off the charts. Ron Johnson, the senator from 2 weeks ago, who said that when those young Japheth people and older middle-aged men were attacking the Temple of Democracy on the 6th of January to overthrow the, if you will, the Electoral College vote for Joe Biden to be president rather than Tribulation Trump, Ron Johnson made this statement and has completely doubled down on it, that he had no fear of young white men because these are law-abiding people. He had no fear, even though there were tens of thousands of them out there. They stormed the temple. They broke into the Senate. They broke into Nancy Pelosi's office. They were all up in the walls. They were all up in the Senate, all up in the well, and they were going through people's desks and pulling out materials and waving flags and beating police officers and spraying bear spray. But Ron Johnson said, I have no fear of these white people because they're law-abiding people. They love our country. And by the way, every time I hear one of these a-holes say our country, somehow or another, I think they're trying to exclude everybody else that's not a part of the MAGA nation. Like, this is our country. This is our country, and it ain't y'all's country. What a bunch of, anyway. So I want to say a word to Ron Johnson, who said he didn't have any fear of these, because, these white people, they love the law. They are law-abiding people. They don't attack police officers. Ron Johnson, Eric Talley is dead. He's the father of 5 children. His youngest is 5 years old. His oldest is 18. They don't have a father now. You, Mr. Ron Johnson, that white people aren't violent, that white people don't, you feel safe around. It's only these black people that you got to be afraid of. What a a-hole you are. What a hypocrite. What a loser. What a despicable, boogie-eating, if you will, despicable character you are, Ron Johnson. But you're not the only one in the Senate who feels that way. You're just crazy enough to speak it out. But I want you to tell Eric Talley's wife that young white people, young men, that white boys are not violent. Yeah, go tell her, and go tell all the people whose family members are still grieving because of what happened at the King's Super, that you don't have to fear if it's white boys coming, because they're not like the black boys. They are, they go and tell them. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. But I say that not just that, really, because Ron Johnson is too much of a hypocrite and a liar, too much of a satanic degenerate to understand it. Who I'm really trying to get at is the people that are part of the MAGA nation, the people who wear the red hats, the people that talk about the QAnon people, the one that support Trump, the one that called Trump the greatest president ever, the one that said Trump done more for black people than anybody else on the planet has ever done, even God. These are the ones I really want to stick it to them. I want to stick it to the hypocrisy of you red hat wearing SOSs, you red hat wearing SOBs running around here talking about that there is no violence. You see, and this violence has been going on for years, and yet this woman, this wife of Eric Talley, doesn't have a husband now. Yeah, but I guess that y'all are still going to continue to promote that lie. You're going to still continue to promote the lie that, white folk don't kill. They're peaceful. It's all these black folk that you got to look out for. By the way, Colorado is where it all got started years ago, back in the 1990s with Columbine. The high school shooting out there with those 2 guys with the black trench coat mafia went into Columbine High School and just blew up the place, right? And then, of course, back in, 2010, I think, Aurora, Colorado, there was a shooting there in the movie theater. So this is Colorado's 3rd strike. Must be something about Colorado, because the Aurora shooting was an awful event as well. And by the way, both of these young boys are 21 years of age, right? They, last week was the massage parlors down in Atlanta. This week it's, supermarkets. And so these Hamite brothers, no, they do kill. No, I will tell you that. Jesse Jackson said if he's walking down the street in Harlem at 2 o'clock in the morning, he hear footsteps behind him, he pray they're white people. Jesse, I ain't so sure. Jesse, you might want to take that back, boy. You might want to take that one back, because all these young boys kill. It's just that these Japheth boys love to kill by the gross. I think they'll, say, well, I'm going out. If I don't get at least 20 people killed today, I won't get my name in the history books. But that's what. But I mourn the event in Colorado. I do. It's only going to get worse. You're going to see other shootings as well, in not too many days by more young Japheth people, and many of them probably are MAGA Nation people as well. At any rate, I'm James Everett Manning, everybody. I'm the Lord's servant. This is symbolic. It's where Jesus was baptized. It's where John baptized. And so this is not a rebaptism. It's just a symbolic, if you will, act of what we're going to do, being in the water at the place where Jesus was baptized. And what I'd like to do is to baptize today, that we would come to terms with the understanding of what God is calling for in righteousness. He's not calling for prosperity. He isn't calling for culturalism. God is calling for righteousness. If we would commit ourselves to fulfill all righteousness, and God has calls us to be persecuted for righteousness' sake, as John was persecuted for righteousness, and so Jesus. I got to tell you that I'll never forget this experience of actually stepping in the water where Jesus were baptized and where John has baptized so many people. This is such a historic and a powerful, powerful sight. Just to touch the water was so critical. And I'm glad that people got baptized to have that experience. It was a safe experience and a great experience. I'm not even going to change my clothes. I want to just stay in baptism mode until I get back to the hotel. So that's what I want to say. All right.
This has been live from the Jordan River. God bless you all. Peace.
Righteousness. Boom, chakalaka goes right there.
My mother started liking the school and let me come here every single year. It has been 5 years and now I'm in the 7th grade. I still love this school. It has taught me a lot of things about the world and all around it, and let me see things I've never seen before, like me participating in the history fair last year. I would like to give thanks to all my classmates for making me feel comfortable and at home here. Please, to all the new and old parents in the school, don't take your kids out of this school because it will probably be the biggest mistake you've ever made. No matter what type of child you have, this school will shape it into a world leader. So do yourselves a favor. Oh my goodness. Okay. So do yourselves a favor and keep your kids here till they graduate, and it will change yours and your child's life. Peace and blessings.
Over the years, we have served more than 1 million meals to hungry bellies and hungry people here in the Harlem community. And I wanted you to be able to see that. I want you to see our involvement with youth, our summer youth programs, our courtyard being used as a place where children can be safe, guarded, and protected as they have their miniature swimming pools. And a safe place for children to eat that is guarded, that is protected by our own sense of security, and the wholesome and fresh meals that we serve. We wanted you to be able to see the mission of this church, and we've been doing this for years. Just recently, one of our members, more than a 30-year member of this church, but it hasn't, not one that that you would probably find as members of some other churches with their nose stuck up in the air. But her father is now close to death or very sick in the state of South Carolina. And I said to her, well, because she doesn't have money, I said, we will buy you a bus ticket, a round trip bus or train ticket for you to travel to South Carolina to be with your father in this time of pandemic. There's very little funding around. There's sickness everywhere. And the thing that just blew me away was she said, as she was talking to Elizabeth, she said, but how are you going to do that, to pay for me a round trip ticket to travel and give me expense money? And because Pastor Manning has to feed the children, he has to educate the children, he has to buy school supplies for them. He has to pick them up in the mornings and take them back. And then he's got the ministry he has to take care of, all the bills of running the church, of keeping a major house like our house operational, keep the lights on, how are you going to be able to do that? And she was almost reluctant to take the money because she felt that it would be better served by feeding the children. We gave it to her anyway. But we want you to know that we do a work in this community. There have been a lot of lies told on us. And it's almost unimaginable why some of the people that have lied on us. But I can tell you behind all of it is the LGBTQ community. Hallelujah. They don't want us to be successful, but we are, and we're going to continue to be successful in serving the meals that we're serving and serving the people that we are. And the LGBTQ community will not take us down. They are not going to take our church. Yet they've defamed us. They've written ugly newspaper articles about us. They've marched against us. They've done a whole lot of ugly things. But you see what we have done, and that's not even the half of our service to children and to the needy in terms of our homeless shelters and the things that we've done over the years, and we will continue. And probably the lies and the smears and the ugly newspaper articles and the wicked spirits and the so-called I ain't for the black man, that is not going to go away. I don't expect it to go away. I don't. But I do tell you this, that we will succeed against all of that, for God is with us, and I am his servant.